Hey peeps, welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore with me and Tobias Atatolis. Now, in the last episode, we went through a pretty deep discussion about being a Lucis and a Tenebrorum bearer, and as well as a little bit of an interesting discussion about, well, relationships between commoners and nobles. And trying not to do too many crown references, but you know me, I'm probably going to add loads more of them. But anyway, this episode, we discovered that Sinna has been doing his capacity as a Lucis Bearer through magic shows with Waltz. So Lucette has in turn been called out to do her own magic trick. So, how will she make her performance debut here? Let's go ahead and find out.
Well, I think that was how the decision we had to make.
Yep, the decision. Do we use flowers, or do we use ice?
Well, I feel like, as I recall, flowers was what Sinna was just doing. So, I'm inclined to use ice, do your own magic rather than, copying Sinna in that way.
Fair enough. I mean, granted the lily is her symbol, but I do see your point. Alright, let's use some ice and pray it does not get spiky. Ice is one of my strongest elements, and I might have a way to improve on Sinna's spell. I step forward and concentrate on the falling petals. The petals shine in midair, reforming into bright crystalline snowflakes. There are gasps and sounds of glee from the audience. And then everyone is clapping and cheering. Guess my fear was unwarranted then.
A spectacular performance from the most talented and beautiful witch in NGL.
Chevalier wigs.
Do you want to build a snowman?
I was hoping that we're not gonna go there! But I mean, this was after Frozen, so it kind of makes sense that we're gonna pull it here. There was definitely not enough snow here to do that. Sinna looks up at us, eyebrows furrowed. I can't tell if he's annoyed or unimpressed. Claude holds out a hand. Snowflakes settle on his palm.
I would know this magic anywhere. Now he's sparkling. How fitting for a certain lovely ice princess.
Everybody's shiny. Even I'm shiny. I've got a crystal crown on right now.
Sinna is not shiny.
Nope. His eyes fall on me, but I'm too shocked by his sudden appearance to respond.
I thought the festival was still a week off. Have I missed some pre-celebrations?
Another man steps up from behind Claude, his younger brother Lance. Fuck. He says, what is this, Twilight? It's a better love story than Twilight, Kavak. Better love story. Another man steps out from behind Claude, his younger brother Lance.
Hello, people of NGL.
Everybody's shining! His smile is a dazzling smile that makes him sparkle.
Oh, is that what makes him sparkle?
Oh, okay. I got you now. I got you now. In that case, yes.
That's the secret. I'll have to work on that.
Yeah.
We're, sorry to interrupt.
The apology is swallowed, but the audience's screams. They surge toward the door, yelling Lance's name! Fans! Claude slides disgruntlingly out of the crowd surrounding his brother and makes his way toward over to us.
Seems like you weren't the only one who is upstage, Sinna. Was not upstage. I can't do two voices at once.
Okay, I'm gonna be able to help you with this one. 3, 2, 1. I was not upstaged.
Alright, we'll have to work on that too.
We'll work on it, yeah. We're not prepared for that. The two speak at the same time. The two speak at the same time. Sinna turns away, cheeks flush, while Claude runs a hand through his hair and sighs.
It's a curse to have such a magnanimous brother.
Okay, let me look at the definition of magnanimous. Generous or forgiving, especially towards a rival or less powerful person. Mid-16th century, from Latin magnanimus, from magnus meaning great, and animus meaning soul. Probably should have figured that out. I mean, I play between my years of Latin and playing Assassin's Creed.
It's just like charismatic in like the celebrity way.
Yeah, I do admit, like, Lance is pretty charming. This is the more important part.
At least you have us. At least you have us as friends.
Yep, as long as you got friends. What else could you want for in the world? Claude shrugs discontentedly at that. What are you doing here? My family's expecting you at the palace.
I figured I may as well drop by and offer my greetings to the marching crowd.
Oh boy. He glances at Sinna.
Hello, kid.
Uh-oh.
Call me that again, and I'll bury you in flowers.
Sinna grumbles something beneath his breath before stomping away.
Strictly as always.
He's just grumpy because he interrupted his magic show. Claude turns to Delora.
Lady, lovely to see you again.
It's only been a couple of months. You haven't been gone long enough for me to miss you.
But you would have missed me if I had been away any longer.
Okay, Kivok says, well, sorry, I'm not able to put, like, the chat up, but it would obscure the visual note part. But he said, flowers sounds like the least bad thing to get buried under, assuming that it's not flowers on top of 6 feet of dirt. Yeah. On the other hand, though, considering Sinna, I think that's implied. Dolores snorts. Doubtful.
It's actually just like some poisonous flowers.
Yep.
How rude. I am, overall, offended by this reception.
How rude. He shoots a disgruntled look at his brother, who is smiling awkwardly at adoring fans. I bet Lance is thinking to himself, get me out of here already. Chevalier grins.
Weren't you avoiding besotted girls years ago?
How ironic. But then, in that case, though, it was because he was cursed. So that one was out of his control. I thought you wouldn't envy your brother in his position.
Are you two so close that you're finishing each other's thoughts now?
He sighs.
How is it that a man with a name that sounds like a fancy cake has found love before I have?
Perhaps because he's sincere.
princess, you ruined me. Well, it's good to see this place so lively again. Hello again, Prince. Greetings, Mr. Magician. I'm surprised it wasn't you performing today. Sinna wanted to give it a try, which, speaking of...
Waltz turns to me.
Thank you for playing along, Princess.
It was my pleasure. Once we've all finished exchanging... Oh, wow. Once we've all finished exchanging pleasantries, I turned the conversation to Emmeline's proposal, suggesting to Waltz that he and Sinna, if he's up to it, perform during the festival. Unsurprisingly, Waltz agrees.
You know, it's always been my pleasure to perform for the Crown Princess. Sinna would never admit to it, but I'm sure he'd love the opportunity to show off too.
Of course. Delora raises an eyebrow. Whew, really? What about you, Princess? What about me? If Sinna's on stage, maybe you should perform with him.
Ah, the Lucis and Cinderella Bearer performing on the same stage would be a momentous moment in history, don't you think?
That actually would be an interesting thing to see. Casanova has a point. It's been a long time since the populace has seen witches and fairies get along so publicly. They make a good point. Not too long ago, witches and fairies were believed to be enemies. Perhaps a joint performance would improve the townsfolk's perception of witches. If it helps relations, I don't suppose it can hurt. By the time we have finished discussing our plans for the week, Lance is finally able to join us. He looks worn out, but still wears a pleasant smile on his face.
Princess Lucette, Sir Chevalier, it is, as always, an absolute honor to be in your company again.
You know you don't need to use my title, Lance.
Sorry. Habit.
Claude sighs dramatically.
We're quite done here. Our guards are waiting outside and are probably growing impatient.
He's not wrong!
You're the one who wanted to take this detour. Because I have manners, unlike a certain lovesick fool who's only been talking about one person this entire trip.
Oh, touche!
That is uncalled for.
The squabbling brings me back to the present. Emmeline stayed at the palace to greet Lance. It would be rude to keep her and everyone else waiting. After promising to discuss our plans further... Yeah, that's true. After promising to discuss our plans further, Chevalier and I excuse ourselves to escort the princess back to the palace. But yeah, that was kind of uncalled for. By the time we return, the table has been set for dinner. Ophelia and Father are both pleasant and conversational, but Emmeline and Rod... Rod is like a storm cloud and keeps casting sharp looks at Lance. It was beginning to look distinctly uncomfortable. Oh. Raleigh looks away when Claude directly addresses him. Dang, you're putting in the rounds today, man. I am so sorry.
Have you given any thought to that exchange program I mentioned before, Prince Rod? Your invite to stay in Brigantia and learn traditional dances? Indeed, we'd love to host you.
Claude glances at his brother.
And, if you'll have him, my brother would like to extend his stay in Angiel. He's interested in learning more about the foreign policies here. Yeah, that's why he wants to stay.
Excuse veiled under diplomacy.
I've always had a special interest in the subject.
Well, then again, knowing Lance, it's mostly pretty good. It's genuine. I forget that sometimes because Claude is the heir, his brother has more freedom than he does. The freedom, for instance, to extend visitations. I, for one, think it's a wonderful idea. Rod shrugs.
I'm still thinking about it.
Oh, come on, Rod. You know you want to. It's an adventure. He looks skeptically at Lance.
You're interested in foreign policy? Who would be teaching you? Not my sister, surely.
Your dad? Well, in this case, your stepdad? You know, I don't have that kind of expertise, Rod. Lance smiles.
You should not underplay your talents, Princess Emmeline. Your history lessons are always enlightening.
Thank you. If Rod were a witch, I had no doubt he'd set Lance on fire with just his scowl. Before the situation can become any more heated, Chevalier clears his throat.
If Princess Emmeline is not up to the task, then I humbly volunteer to educate the prince about Angio's politics.
Woo! Chevalier stepping up to the plate. He winks at me.
The princess can vouch for me. I'm an excellent teacher, aren't I?
Oh boy! Are we just gonna embarrass him further? Although, the anatomy part, he does have some knowledge because he is a doctor. But the second option, though, it makes it sound wrong somehow. Oh gosh.
Yeah, you can bring up either one, but it's like, what does that have to do with
his Angio history? Oh gosh. I think I'm just gonna straight for anatomy because that is his expertise. And let's not think about it any further. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Chevalier taught me everything I know about medicine and the human body. He is very good at explaining even complicated things. Chevalier looks taken aback.
Well, you are an excellent student, Lucette.
Well, it also helps that I do have some medical knowledge on the side, so... But, thanks anyway. Must he always compliment me when I'm trying to compliment him?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go!
Politics and medicine are hardly related.
Au contraire. Mon frère. Or son frère. My French is a little bit rusty.
Disagree.
I was just saying that! We're all surprised when my father speaks.
The practices may be different, but the incentives are the same. Both doctors and government work to protect the health and well-being of the citizens they serve.
Yeah, he basically just said what I was actually about to say just earlier. I swear, I think I'm becoming, like, my brain is literally, like, downloading into this game, where the game is downloading into me. I don't know, but I feel like I'm predicting things way before they're coming up in dialogue.
Are you becoming a computer? Do I have to worry about this?
Am I in the Matrix?
Can you go into the Matrix from the Matrix?
Or Do we have several layers? This is just one of them?
It's like Inception Matrix.
Inception
Matrices.
Matrix.
How do you know when anything is reality?
Maybe there is no reality. Just like there is no spoon.
Well, if there is no reality, then every non-reality becomes its own reality. If there's no reality to wake up into, then, you know, our one illusion is just as real as the next one.
Oh man, I didn't expect this to go that deep, but I did start it though. I did start it, so
What we get into while playing a romance novel.
While playing a romance novel about about one princess and one fairy bearing the balances of positive and negative energy. It was probably inevitable. Oh gosh.
Anyway.
Pulses
aren't just the backbone of our nation. They're a salve for the country's wounds.
Yep. I've never thought about it that way. Chevalier looks similarly odd. I do not miss the gratitude in his eyes. I hope he sees that Father values his opinions and experience.
Your Majesty.
Father chuckles.
I can't speak for his other lessons, but Chevalier and I had very insightful conversations about politics.
It's true. In the very least, Father seems to enjoy discussing politics with Chevalier over breakfast. He has said before that he believes Chevalier provides a unique, more personal perspective on such issues, having been directly impacted by them before.
It would be an honor to learn from a man as well learned as you, Sir Chevalier.
Hey! We got the seal of approval! There we go!
And it would be my honor to assist you, Your Highness.
Yes! I scraped absently my plate with my fork as the conversation continues. I expect to leave the dining hall with Chevalier once the meal is cleared, but I'm surprised when Quab requests his company.
To talk about Lance's so-called instruction.
Oh, come on, Quad!
We literally just had this discussion.
We literally had this discussion! Like, do you not read the room?
Huh? How brotherly of you.
Chevalier leans over to put a kiss on my cheek.
I'll be back in a bit, my sweet princess. Wait for me.
I wasn't expecting it, but now I have time to finish that scarf. I have nowhere else to be, Chev. Take your time. Please, please, take your time. Gotta get the project done before somebody gets aware of it. I nod. This will be good for him. Maybe Quad can give him some advice on how to interact with the nobles.
I shall look forward to seeing your beautiful smile again, sweet Lucette.
Hey! So now we finally get the answer to that question. How will that scarf look? I certainly want to see how it looks like. He and Claude depart, followed shortly by Emmeline and Lance. Rob remains looking moodily on his plate while Ophelia discusses the exchange program with him. Oh boy. With no reason to stay, I curtsy and excuse myself from the hall. I waste no time in resuming work on the scarf. For the first time in a long time, I'm completely focused. The motion of the needle and thread becomes almost hypnotic. my fingers moving without any thought. The embellishments take less time than I anticipate, and before I realize it, the scarf lays finished on my desk. I run my fingers over the stitches. They're nowhere near as precise as Bria's, and yet it's not bad. I lay the scarf on my lap with a smile. Finally, I can give Chevalier something nice. Time passes slowly without Chevalier there. In the silence, I find myself remembering the conversation I had with Ophelia. She said the best way to help Chevalier was to support him without standing up for him. I immediately think of the scarf. Tonight might be a good time to give it to him, just to show him that I'm always thinking of him. I cannot help my sudden nerves. He wore Bria's scarf every day. What if he does not think mine is worth that? I mean, it's not exactly something you could control, but on the other hand, though, considering that you worked hard on it, the probability is pretty good. He will wear it until even if it falls apart.
I also think it's less about the quality of the scarf and more about the sentiment it carried.
True.
So I think whatever scarf you give him, he is going to love and wear it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I start off so badly at the knock I almost fall off my bed.
Permission to come in, my lovely princess?
I take a deep breath as I fold the scarf on my lap. Come in! Of course! The door opens and Chevalier slides inside with a bright smile.
Finally, I have returned, and just in time. One more hour away from you, and I would have certainly withered away. But...
He pauses.
Princess, you're stiff as a board. Are you okay?
Ooh. I realize how tense I am, and I try to force myself to relax. I'm fine. How was your talk with Claude?
It's good. A lot of catching up.
He narrows his eyes.
Are you sure you're alright?
With his eyes trained so completely on my face, he does not even notice the scarf. As he leans in to brush a strand of hair off my forehead, I seize my chance. I lean up to wrap the scarf around his neck. Oh! Chevalier freezes. I become aware of the way we're standing. Me with my hands at his chest, he with his fingers wrapped around one of my wrists.
What is this?
He reaches up and touches the scarf around his neck.
Lucette, is this...
You said you needed a new scarf, so I made you one.
You made this for me?
Oh, this is too sweet! Chevalier runs his fingers across the pattern in awe. And then he smiles. So brightly that it makes me smile too.
Lucette, this is the most spectacular gift I ever received.
Oh, this is too adorable. He proclaims it so softly, so sincerely, that it makes my stomach leap into my throat. There's no need for you to exaggerate.
This is no exaggeration. This is stunning work. The fact you made it for me.
He shakes his head.
I will treasure it for the rest of my days.
Yeah, now that looks like Chevalier. He did not look like himself without it. Yes. He pulls me closer and tips my chin up.
I'll never take this off.
Told you, he's gonna wear it until it goes to shreds.
Well, I feel like that's a bit much. But...
That would be foolish. You should take it off. It is silly, and yet the proclamation brings me so much joy I actually not thinking, rising up on the tips of my toes to give Chevalier a kiss. He cups my face and kisses me back, a deep kiss that makes me feel both buoyant and grounded, that makes electricity shoot through my veins down to the soles of my feet. Let's hope it's not literal, because it might set the room on fire. Because he knows lightning magic, too. Oh gosh! You have the most dialogue, and I'm having the most awkward passages I have to read. It is a kiss that leaves me breathless. When I pull away, Chevalier has such a small smile on his face, and I can't help but kiss him again. Once, twice, 3 times on his lips. I just thought of the chorus went along the lines of once, twice, 3 times a lady. I think it's by the Commodores.
What did I do to deserve you, princess?
You offered me just the right amount of lily-shaped chocolates, apparently. Chevalier laughs.
I hope you're prepared for me to shower you with baked goods for the rest of your life, then.
Yes. Your food is amazing. The minute he says the words, he freezes, looking suddenly sheepish. The rest of your life, he said. A bold promise. One that makes my heart sore. But Chevalier looks nervous, as if he's worried he's overstepped his boundaries. Oh yeah! He's got an ex-fiancée! That's right! And that fell apart. No doubt he's got that anxiety that's gonna happen again, even though the probably's pretty good it won't, because this is Lucette we're talking about here.
That is, if you'll have me.
Thank you, Chev. Chevalier is a flatterer, but that's just who he is. He's never failed to make me feel special for just being myself.
No. Lucette, thank you.
Oh, gosh! He sets his hand on the scarf. This is too cute! Is there like a plot like a story equivalent for insulin? Because I'm definitely going to need that after this.
I don't know. You get too much sweet. You just need something grounded. You know, like a textbook.
Well, it's a good thing I'm doing D&D math after this, so
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
For everything.
Ah!
With this new scarf, I am undefeatable.
Now I'm thinking of Boris from GoldenEye. I'm invincible!
More so even, because I've come up with a plan to get on everyone's good side here at the palace.
Yes! Confidence! A plan? Chevalier plops himself down on my bed.
You'll see. I don't want to spoil anything just yet.
Oh, secret plan!
Secret plan.
Secret plan. He's an international super spy. I settle myself beside him, close enough I can tuck myself into his side. He wraps an arm around my shoulders and smiles. Whatever it is, I'm sure it will work. If there's anyone who can befriend a stubborn noble, it's you.
Such praise coming from the most lovable princess in all of Angiel.
Aww.
I mean, technically there's only one princess in all of Angiel.
There's 2, actually.
Oh,
Emmeline's the other one. But she's the crown princess, so...
Gotcha.
In terms of that, she's the only... Yes, she's the only one. You really will say anything to get on my good side, won't you? I shove him playfully in the shoulder. It's nothing but a light touch, but Chevalier still topples to the bed. He grins as I lean over him.
Never. I only speak the truth.
Is that so? When I attempt to kiss him on the cheek, he turns his face and my lips finds his mouth instead. He's an international super spy.
Positive.
Woo! His smile was coy, almost challenging. I don't bother retorting with words instead of responding with another kiss. So many kisses that I soon lose count. Nothing matters but the softness of Chevalier's lips and the warmth of his embrace. And with that... Oh, then we're transitioning to the chapter already. Whoops! That was not very classy of my transition. I'll get it next time. I think in the end I might be the one to fall asleep first. Tucked into Chevalier's side, my face pressed to his neck, I feel myself drifting. His scarf is wrapped around the both of us, softer and cozier than any blanket. For the first time in a long while, I fall asleep content. And with that, now we get to chapter 5, which is The Merrymaker.
Is that like a Glee Man?
I guess.
What a brilliant day. The sun is shining, the town is full of laughter, and... And we'd really like to finish hanging this banner. Now, will you hurry up?
Wow. How is such a killjoy the Lucis Bearer?
As prickly as ever, tiny lord.
Chevalier looks up at Waltz, who was crouched on a wooden beam above the stage, waiting for Chevalier to hand him the other end of the banner. The three of them are hanging the most central spring festival decoration, a banner signed by many of the townsfolk. It was just yesterday that Emily and Anise oversaw its creation. The day before that, Chevalier and I set up various floral arrangements around town, while workers hired by the palace set up stalls around town. Every day has been filled with errands like this. I return to the palace so exhausted I barely make it to bed before I fall asleep. But it is worth it. Chevalier throws the banner up to Waltz, who begins nailing it to the beam.
And got it.
Chevalier gestures dramatically.
Citizens of Angiel, behold our beautiful spring festival banner.
And we're not going to see it. We can just imagine it.
It's amazing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. Especially the whole town got involved. The crowd ripples with excitement, cheering and whistling as Chevalier steps down. It is a rather impressive banner. Filled with so many colors and signatures, it's impossible to make out any coherent design. I suppose it has a sort of chaotic charm to it, though. Ooh, I wonder whose voice this is. I hear the banner was your idea? Oh, it was Fritz! Fritz appears beside me. Though he is here as security, he seems at ease, relaxed. It was. It is a small thing.
I imagine the citizens would disagree with you.
Yeah, they probably would. The two of us watch as Waltz floats back down to the stage using his magic. He snaps his fingers, causing confetti to rain down from the sky. The audience applauds again. Why are you looking at me like that?
It's nothing. I was just thinking that I'm glad I get to see you smile like this.
Oh my gosh. For any other ending.
When I first met you, I thought you always looked so sad. I wanted so badly to make you smile. Not being able to made me feel incompetent.
Fritz, you could never be incompetent. The reason why it was the way I was, it was because of Mother. I can acknowledge that now, even if it still hurts. Fritz smiles.
It helped, leaving the palace all those years ago, didn't it?
I hate to give Delora any credit, but it did. I did not realize the emptiness in my life stemmed from loneliness until Chevalier taught me the value of connecting with others.
I'm glad you and Sir Chevalier found each other.
Aww. I'm too. And I'm glad you found your way back here too, Fritz.
To you that I'm here, Princess.
Aww. He glances one more time at the makeshift stage before turning to the crowd.
I'm on duty now, but I'll see you around.
Of course. Take care, Fritz.
And you as well, Princess.
Aww. With one last bow, Fritz disappears into the crowd. The moment he leaves, I notice two familiar faces pushing toward me. Lucette, we've been looking for you. We were surprised not to see you on stage. It has been a busy morning, but neither one of them looks worse for wear. I decided to let Chevalier and Waltz do the others. Maybe if we were using magic to hang things? Oh? I've never seen you use your magic for convenience before. After being forced to clean with Mr. Broom, Lucette said she didn't want to charm objects. In my opinion, how's it changed? I am never commanding an object to do my bidding. The last thing I need is another overbearing sentient object in my life. Ace laughs. Mr. Broom would be heartbroken if I heard you say that, Princess. He really misses you. Well, I don't miss Mr. Broom. Most times I do wonder sometimes if I ought to bring Mr. Broom to the palace. For nostalgia's sake, nothing more. Are you sure? Are you sure, Lucette? Where are the Brigantian princes? Weren't they with you two earlier? Oh, we lost them. Anise laughs.
Great, you lost the prince. Now who's gonna rule the country?
Or rather, we left them. I doubt they even noticed. They were in the middle of an argument. Oh boy, it's the overdramatic argument number... God knows how many. It is things like that that make me glad I grew up an only child. Well, technically you did it entirely, Lucette. That sounds like them. And Rod? He's mediating. Or trying to. It wasn't going too well, so Emily and I decided to leave and find you. Uh-oh. Okay, I bet a healing potion that's Quad that's saying this.
Wise decision, I'd say.
Dang it, Chevalier! I owe you a healing potion the next time we play Barony on this thing. Then again, if anybody, it would actually make more sense that it would be him, because like the way Quad and Lance argue, they'd be so lost to each other that they wouldn't think of getting reason from the outside. Unless the chess match. I roll to find Chevalier standing by my side.
Good afternoon, ladies.
He leans down to plant a kiss on my head.
Good afternoon, my beautiful queen.
Oh, thank goodness he's not in Tudor-era England. Back to calling me queen, I see. I sigh, but I can't help the smile on my face. Thank you for your hard work, Chev.
It is, as always, an honor to serve, sweet Lucette.
Aww. We all glance back at the stage where Waltz and Sinna are performing impromptu magic for the still gathered crowd. So this marks the beginning of the spring festival, then? Just about. We, the royal family, will be giving the speeches tomorrow. Then the celebrations officially start. Emily looks at me hopefully. Want to practice our speeches tonight, Lucette? If you do not mind practicing after my magic lesson, then I do not mind. You must be exhausted, Princess. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Anise fidgets. If you need anything to help with fatigue, I might have a few things on my shelves.
Undoubtedly. You always have exactly what everyone needs, Lady Anise.
Yep, she's the apothecary in the house.
To thank you for gathering those remedies for me on such short notice, too.
When I give him a quizzical look, Chevalier smiles and shrugs. Is there a reason you're not telling me who they're for?
It's a surprise.
Oh, more surprises? Here we go. Fine. I expect you to tell me later.
Your wish is my command, beautiful Lucette.
Speaking of commands, Emmeline tilts her head. Is there not a council meeting happening today? Emmeline is right. There is one. Sorry, Steam notifications. I'm not used to. I don't know how to take this off anyway. Emmeline is right. There is one last meeting before the festivities start tomorrow. Today is, thankfully, the last day we discuss taxes. Oh, tax season! Please be over. I stifle a sigh. You're right. I should make my way over there.
Allow me to escort you, lovely princess. I've barely seen you all morning.
Oh. If you insist. I turn to Anise and Emmeline. Will you two be alright here without me? Of course. I'll see you at the palace, Lucette. Have a good meeting, Lucette. I'll see you tomorrow. After saying our goodbyes, Chevalier and I depart. Chevalier accompanies me back to the palace. I expect him to turn back at the gates, but he follows me through the corridors. Chev? Oh, did the sound cut out?
Did it? No.
Oh, no.
Maybe I just said it too quietly or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yes?
Is there a reason you're still following me?
Said I would escort you.
I stop in front of the throne room doors. But you have. We're here.
Then let's go in, shall we?
Is this part of the surprise, then?
It probably is prior to the
Let's see what it is. Chevalier opens the doors before I could protest. Most of the counselors are already seated, though the reading has yet to begin. All eyes land on us as we enter. Oh! Is this the part where he's gonna try and win everybody over? I think it is. Let's see how he does it.
Good afternoon, Lord Councillors. I'm humbled to be in your presence.
Ooh. My father, who's sitting at the head of the table, looks up and smiles.
It is good to have you here, Sir Chevalier.
Jurian and Garland, who are sitting on either side of him, look equally as unsurprised to see Chevalier. Yep, he totally planned this. He totally planned this. Here we go. Long time no talk.
It's good to see you again, Sir Chevalier. The Honorable Knights of Caldera. No, it is my pleasure.
Chevalier makes his way over to the table. Baffled, I trail behind him. When we are seated, I turn to him and hiss beneath my breath. What is happening?
You remember that discussion about politics we had with the princes the other day?
I nod.
But later that night, His Majesty thoughtfully extended an invitation to sit in on a council meeting. I couldn't refuse him.
Ooh. Let me guess, you did not tell me any of this because you like surprises? Chevalier beans at me.
Right on the nose, princess.
I knew it. And I also would not be surprised if all those remedies that he ordered from Anise or someone related to like a public aid program or something. But let's see what he says.
I want to surprise you by showing up as an unexpected advocate.
Ooh. While I appreciate the support, many of the counselors are Chevalier's patients. They're already critical of him. How will they receive him when he's out of his element? Eventually, when the chamber is filled, my father stands and announces the start of the session.
Good afternoon, lords and ladies. For the last few weeks, we have been discussing raising taxes. Today, I call you here for one final discussion.
Ooh. The heated talks... Wait, hold on. Okay, nothing was skitty. It felt like it was really abrupt for a split second. Okay. The heated talks resume immediately. I spare a glance at Chevalier, who is watching the proceedings quietly. It's only after one counselor makes the point that higher taxes would allow for us to invest in more expensive amenities and healthcare that he shifts in his seat, looking suddenly discontented. Chevalier has always been adamant about making things affordable for others. Oh! Okay! Alright. I think I know where this is going, actually. I think this is his time to shine, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think you should encourage him to speak.
Yes.
He doesn't like, people taking care of him or coddling him.
Yeah.
Kind of that way.
And again, it's his time to shine. It was his plan. It's like, yeah. Go do it, my man. It's time. It is time. I lean close enough to whisper in his ear. You ought to share your opinion. I know you have one.
Hey.
The king would not have invited you here if he did not want you to participate. Oh. Chevalier shifts to address my father.
Permission to speak, Your Majesty? Please, Sir Chevalier.
Chevalier argues that increasing taxes to invest in more expensive amenities will only be effective if their prices are lowered so that they're affordable to others.
Taxes might be helpful if we considered subsidization.
That makes a lot of sense. Because, I mean, you raise the taxes to make sure the more advanced stuff gets available, but you gotta at the same time make sure it's available to more people. In a way, the raising taxes would pay for it for them, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if I explained that correctly, but it feels like common sense. Chevalier makes the topic a more multifaceted one. Having been directly impacted by such decisions, he has a more intimate understanding of how they affect the common citizens. The table is quiet after he speaks, but it is, much to my belief, not a hostile silence.
Well said, Sir Chevalier. There is little use in forcing the citizens to pay more for amenities they will not be able to afford. But if we were to lower prices...
That's the key thing. Gotta lower the prices to make it more affordable so that people will actually go for it. The discussion continues on a more productive tangent. Chevalier leans toward me and speaks in a near whisper.
Thank you, Princess.
Aw. For what?
You know what for.
Aw. He squeezes my hand under the table. Chevalier has always prioritized listening, but he needs to learn to speak up too. If I can be the one to teach him that, I will be content. Eventually, the conversation draws to a close, and Father declares that taxes will not be raised. However, our talk has brought up many new issues that will need to be discussed in more detail, namely the accessibility of healthcare. But it's kind of poetic considering this is the one question we're basically asking here as well. So, yep, it's something that we're all thinking about.
It can be tricky.
I mean, kind of goes to show that a lot of these structures are very artificial if you really think about it.
Oh.
It'll be a complicated discussion, but it promises to be a fruitful one. Yes, indeed. When the meeting finally draws to a close, Chevalier deflates in his chair.
I am in awe that you do this nearly every day, Princess.
You become accustomed to it. But you did very well for your first time.
Really? I feel like I might have rambled.
You brought up very important issues.
You give me too much credit. You're the wise, fearless one who always speaks her mind.
And today, that was you. Proud of you, Chev. Chevalier's responding smile is tired but grateful, and it warms my heart. And, well, to get out of character for a little bit, it does feel, it kind of reminds me of, like, the introvert hangover, you know? After going through an intense discussion, or, like, something that can feel simply good but overwhelming. It's just like, you're just... It's like, yeah, you're not done per se, but it's like you're kind of almost tapped out. It's a little hard to describe.
You're enjoying yourself, but there comes a point you're just out of mental energy.
Yeah.
Like I need to step back for a little bit here.
Yeah, like give me 20 minutes of the book and I should be back to where I should be. Give to the last stretch. Oh.
Sir Chevalier.
I'm surprised when one of the counselors wanders over to us.
Lord Rem.
If Chevalier knows him, then Lord Rem must be one of his patients. I prepared myself for a barb, but Lord Rem just smiles.
You were brilliant today.
Ooh, yes! He clears his throat.
I wanted to apologize for mistrusting you. The medication you prescribed is a miracle. It has only been a couple of days, but I feel significantly less exhausted.
That's a niece's medicine for ya!
Ah, the herbal remedy. I'm relieved to hear it. I thought it might be easier on your body.
Herbal remedy? Is this what Chevalier and the niece were discussing earlier?
You thought correctly. I apologize for doubting you. I assumed the remedies you recommended were backwater substitutions.
This sounds way too familiar. I mean, a lot of the medicines that we have now are actually derived from a lot of ancient plant medicines that may be just as, not more effective.
Yeah, I'm like, all medicine came from plants originally.
Yep.
Really.
Just because something is more expensive, that does not make it the superior solution. Moral of the day, my friends.
So I am learning. Thank you, Sir Chevalier. I look forward to my follow-up visit.
Lord Remby gives a formal nod before walking away. I turn to Chevalier. So the medication run you did in town the other day.
Dropping by niece's pharmacy, yes. I thought the best way to prove I knew my practice was to show it. So I recommended more natural cures and remedies.
Oh. Sometimes it's better to walk the walk than just talk the talk. I think maybe you found your path to acceptance.
I hope so, Princess.
Once the counselors have cleared out of the room, we are approached by Jurian and Garland. You handled yourself well in there, Chevalier.
That's high praise coming from the ever-collected commander of Caldera.
Garland smiles.
She is ever-collected, isn't she? Except for when flowers and compliments are involved.
Man, we're not talking about that here.
What's this about flowers?
It's nothing.
It's official knight's business?
Yeah, let's go with that, Garland. Let's go with that. Official business. The two speak at the same time. Jurian shoots Garland a look. He just responds with a sheepish smile. I clear my throat. Will you two be attending the festival?
Of course. When we get the time off.
That should make your own holidays, my friends. What Garland said. You would never miss the festivities.
I'm sure going out together during the festival would make for an excellent date.
Way to put it out there, Chevalier! This is not a date. It takes an effort to keep myself from laughing. Jurian can insist all she likes, but it is no secret that she and Garland spend every moment of their free time together. Our conversation with the knights is cut short when Father calls on them to discuss palace security. Whew! After saying our goodbyes, Chevalier and I excuse ourselves. The day is full of pre-celebration preparations. Emmeline returns to the three princes, and together we discuss the week's planned festivities. Whew, time is flying! Eventually, day bleeds into night. I find myself walking down the corridor with Chevalier, who has insisted on accompanying me to my magic practice. The last time he sat in on a practice, he cheered so ceaselessly Delora threw him out. Hopefully we do not have a repeat of that incident. The two of us make our way to the usual spot. I sense the buildup of the spell as soon as we step through the trees, and ready my own shield in defense. Delora's ice shoots toward my barrier, and harmlessly shatters against it. Hello, Delora. Good evening, Your Highness. She raises an eyebrow at Chevalier. Hello, Casanova.
Lady Delora, such a tranquil night, isn't it?
I think it's... Okay. I bet 100 coins that it's, Sinna who's got the next move here.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Oh boy. Here we go. I hope you don't plan on ruining it with all your chattering. I got it! So it's now one to one. The voice is familiar, but I'm still shocked to see Sinna sitting in the shadows at the edge of the clearing, watching us.
Tiny Lord, what a pleasant surprise. It's been a while. I just saw you this morning.
Hey, a few hours can feel like a while. Sinna stands and steps toward us.
Hello, Princess Lucette?
Hello, Sinna. I am suspiciously. Are you here to criticize my magic? Sinna does not respond immediately. He crosses his arms and looks away, mouth pulled into a taut frown. Cat got your tongue, Cinnamon?
I was just thinking.
Sinna looks up.
I was thinking about how it might be beneficial to train together.
What's this? Am I hearing a collaboration being afoot? Delora grins. I'd appreciate being given credit for my ideas, Sinna. Sinna grumbles. 'Cause of course it wouldn't be him.
You may have mentioned it before.
Haha. Why would you want to train with me?
Well, I was thinking about how Hilda and Fate? Hilda and Fate grew up friends but became distant over time.
He wants to do the opposite. I see where this is going.
I was thinking that perhaps if Fate had not left Hilda alone in the dark for so long, the war wouldn't have happened. Perhaps if they had remained close, things would have ended better.
That part I agree.
I do believe he's asking to be your friend, Princess.
Roundabout way of doing it, but gotta start somewhere.
I'm here to train, not make friends.
That's what we all say. That's what they all say. Newsflash. I suppose we can train together for practical reasons. Dolores snorts. You two really are cut from the same cloth. But enough banter. Let's get the show on the road. Chevalier seats himself on a tree stump as we begin our lesson. It is strange to practice side by side with the fairy. When I was first learning, I used to practice.
What about side by side with a friend?
True. Facts. When I was first learning, I used to practice with waltz, but this is not like that at all. With Sinna, it feels less like a lesson and more like a balancing act. When he first came to Angiel, I was convinced we would never get along, but...
Princess, watch out!
I glanced down just in time to see a root break through the ground. I burn it to cinders before it wrap around my foot.
That's cheating, Delora.
All's fair during magic lessons. Now, maybe? I think Sinna and I are finally growing closer. We continue our lesson for the next hour, only stopping when Delora calls an end. Alright, that's where we end tonight, kids. I don't want to exhaust you the day before your performance.
Me? Exhausted? Never.
Sinna crosses his arms, but it does little to hide the rapid rise and fall of his chest.
I could have gone for another hour.
Everybody has a limit, Sinna. Even you. Sure. Let's pretend this is my breaking point. She turns toward me. Good job tonight, Lucette. You and Sinna work well together.
Agree. You're very talented, Tiny Lord.
Sinna smirks.
I am, aren't I?
This is the other thing. He even enjoys his compliments. He enjoys his compliments.
Yeah, I just realized that last sentence that Tiny Lord is in lowercase letters, even though it's like a name.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking of like Pretzel Lady and Donut Lord from Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, I know it's not their names, but it just made me think of that. He glances at me.
You're not bad either, Princess.
Not bad, is high praise coming from the Lucis Bearer. Delora claps her hands. Alright, time to wrap things up. We'll see you tomorrow. Lucette? Chevalier? After packing up her supplies and bidding us one final goodbye, Delora heads in the opposite direction toward the tavern. Sinna does not follow. She stands in the middle of the clearing, suddenly looking indecisive.
I have a question for you. A question? It's about my cousin. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you were both there when Faye passed away, right?
Beside me, Chevalier inhales sharply. Unthinkingly, I reach out to squeeze his hand. That's correct. Why? Sinna shuffles on his feet.
I don't know Faye very well. Most of my correspondence with her was through letters, but letters were rare. I think it was because she wanted to hide my identity during the war.
Oh yeah, because he was next in line.
I used to hate her for keeping me in the dark.
Sinna curls his fingers into fists.
I used to think she thought I was incompetent. When she died, I came to NGL to prove that wasn't true. I told myself I wouldn't make the same mistake she did. Told myself I'd be decisive, that I wouldn't let the Lucis lure me into a false sense of calm.
Cinna's shoulders slump.
I have no idea who I'm trying to prove myself to anymore. Now that Faye is gone.
Yeah, I think Hilda and Fate's Parfait's stories are basically a classic story of imbalance and isolation gone horribly wrong. At least from what I've seen in the story and what now this is telling me. Because the problem was they both did it alone rather than working together. I mean, granted, Hilda had her own set of issues, but I mean, as the Tenebrarum bearer at the time, at least, they could have tried to overcome it together. Because it was clear that it was a really big sense of energetic and emotional imbalance. Just left alone to their own devices.
I can't even compete with her memory, because I barely knew her.
And now, both Sinna and even Lucette, albeit with opposite things going on, now the pressure of legacy, trying to be distinctive. Sinner's eyes flicker up toward us.
Dolores told me that she died protecting you from cruel witch Lucette.
He looks at Chevalier, who deflates beneath his gaze.
And she said you tried to save her. Dolores won't tell me about her final moments, though. I don't want to press her, but I want to know what Parfait was like in the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chevalier's grip on my hand is heartbreakingly tight. Oh, and I hate doing this emotional roller coaster thing, but this seems to be the perfect point to actually end. So, who's gonna break it to him? Lucette or Chevalier? Well, we find out next week with part 20. When we go through the rest of chapter 5 and then possibly end the plot from there. So yeah, that's next Saturday, part 20. And then, so, Monday, maybe Barony. If Barony's not happening, I might do some Oregon Trail. Who knows?
Yeah. Forget what it was. There was something happening. Oh, maybe it wasn't this Monday. Maybe it was next Monday. I'm thinking of.
Okay. Well, we'll see with that. We'll see with how Barony goes.
Yeah, I remember having a thought, being like, oh, maybe not on Monday, this time, but we'll see.
All right. So we'll see about that one. But one thing's for sure, we will probably do Parasite. We are definitely going to do Parasite even Wednesday, and then part 20 of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore next Saturday. So, as you've noticed, there is a new code on my Fiverr shop. If you use the code BIRTHDAY, you will get a full-fledged reading with $1 with one card pricing, which is like the lowest price, but highest reward, highest payout. And I still am running the blackout code as well, but this time the funds are going to go towards a different charity. It's going to be going towards Camp McGeezy, which is an indigenous and person of color camp in Minnesota, which is helping out with the Red Lake Treaty Camp in protecting our drinking water, which is related to the Red Lake Treaty Camp, which is ending pipeline number 3. If you're curious about it, please check out their Facebook at facebook.com/Red Lake Treaty Camp. They also have an Instagram. Kat McGeezy also has an Instagram. I will link it in the next episode of Parasite Eve 2, if you were curious. A lot of my friends on TikTok and various other platforms are actually making their way over there today or have arrived already to do a supply drop. So if you want to help those supporters, feel free to comment below and then I will post their information. So we got to protect our environment, my friends. And finally, here's my social media in case you want to check it out. TikTok, I'm starting to update that page more frequently again. I recently did a fun video about Star Trek Voyager conspiracy theory, so feel free to check that out. If you missed the on-demand video on Twitch, rest assured this episode will be on YouTube for you to watch for your viewing pleasure. I've also got some videos coming up from my other channel, Theological Otaku, and in case you want to check out some updates, please check out my Twitter at DJMK4Life, as well as my Discord. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you all have had an awesome evening. Make sure to have plenty of water, especially during the hot days. And, of course, as always, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, I will see you later. Bye!
Bye!